Hey guys, I'm playing Imperishable right now. It's the 8th game in the Touhou series. Comes right after Perfect Cherry Blossom, which was the first game that I played. Let's see, let's go over the basics. As you can see, you actually play, well, I don't know if you can see, but you can see there's two characters, in these portraits. It's because you actually play as a pair instead of a character. So you can play as the border team, which is Reimu and Yukari, the magic team, which is Marissa and Alice, the Scarlet Devil team, which is Sakuya and Vermilia. Vermilia is from Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, which is the game Sakuya first appeared in, and then the Netherworld team, Yuyuko and Yomu. So yeah, everyone except Vermilia was in Perfect Cherry Blossom. Each team has one human and one, I think they use the term phantom, basically a yokai or, a vampire, a ghost, whatever. Yeah, And Yomu is half human, so she kind of half counts. So let's just do stage 1 to show you how it works, and I'm going to use the magic team for the demonstration. I'll use the border team for the actual playthrough though. You can see in the bottom left where in Perfect Cherry Blossom you had the cherry meter. Here you have I guess a yokai meter, a phantom meter. If you play as a human, you go toward negative 100%. If you play as the yokai, you go toward 100%. And that has something to do with scoring, which is kind of important. For score, but for other reasons too, which I'll try to go over a little bit. So if you play as the human, which is your unfocused shot is human, your focused shot is yokai. And the enemies have these things called familiars, which are like these kind of white ghosts, like that, those things. And you see Marissa's shooting them now. Humans, and if you focus, you go to yokai, they disappear. Or they don't disappear, but you see they turn into like spell circles. They go invisible. Yokai cannot damage familiars, the human can. But at the same time, that familiars shield the enemy from the human character's shots, whereas the yokais pierce it. And the important thing for score, or not necessarily score, but basically the equivalent of the cherry points in this game is the time points. You can see the time counter over on the right. Yeah, you want to get as many time points as you can, and there's various ways of doing that. One is, you see it just shot up because I defeated a boss attack, which gives you lots of time points. One way is to collect blue time orbs, which some enemies drop. One way is to destroy an enemy while it has familiars out. When you destroy an enemy, any familiars it's controlling turn into time orbs, which means you don't always want to kill the familiars. Enemies that have familiars, if you attack them with the yokai, it leaves the familiars intact and gives you more time points, which is important sometimes. The other thing is, if you're below negative 80%, which means you're using the human a lot, then you get time points for damaging enemies. And if you are above 80%, which means you're using the yokai a lot, you get, you see those pink things around Alice? For grazing during boss attacks, you get time points. So those are the things you do to manipulate your time. And each stage has a goal for time. In this case, on stage 1, it's 2,500. We didn't reach it because we were screwing around. But that is important because it controls how many. Well, you get if you get the time requirement. First of all, you get to face a bonus spell card. You can't lose any lives on it, so don't worry about that. But more importantly, you see the time here at the bottom of the stage clear screen. You see you get your stage clear, clear point grace, and then at the bottom you see 11 p.m. to midnight. Each stage adds an hour to your time, but if you reach the time requirement, you only add half an hour, which is important because this game does not have a set number of replays, or of continues, not replays. You basically get to continue until you get to 5 o'clock, which means if you get the time orbs, if you hit your time goals, and you're only progressing at half-hour intervals, you get more continues. Which doesn't help if you're going for a 1 credit clear, which we are, but if you're going to just clear the game, you do. You want to do that. You might still want to do it, just, well, there are, of course, reasons you want to do well. But you want to face the extra spell cards, just for fun. And, at the end of the game, you want to have extra time left, for reasons we'll get to, I guess, when we get there. Yeah. There's some other interesting things about this game. You can auto-collect at any time by focusing above the point of collection. In Perfect Cherry Blossom, you had to have full power, I think, except on extra. Here you don't have to have full power, but if you are below full power, you have to be focused to auto-collect. See? No auto-collect. Auto-collect. There you go. Yeah. So, these fairies here have familiars, so attack them with the youkai so you don't destroy the familiars. Gives you more time orbs. And, we are to the boss. There's nothing here. The first boss is, a bug. Yeah. Not much to say about that. Yeah. Okay, the incident in this game. In Perfect Cherry Blossom, somebody had stolen Gensurkyo's spring. In this game, something is wrong with the moon, and, we're going to investigate it. And basically, in order to investigate it, our characters have frozen the night, so they can investigate the bizarre moon before the night ends. It basically gives them more time. Hence the name, Imperishable Night. And that's why the night progresses more slowly the better you do. So we're talking to the bug here. Her name is Wriggle. She's a firefly. Attack her if you can in human form, because you rack up time points by hitting her. And also you kill off these familiars, which can be a pain if you don't. Yeah, if you're not comfortable, when you're starting off, you might not want to go unfocused, but you have to if you're using a human. It really helps meeting the time requirements if you can do these attacks unfocused. Because you rack up more time points doing this than grazing, at least on the early bosses. So, yeah, the first stage, not a whole lot to it. There'll be more, difficulty later on. I'm not as good at this game as, Perfect Cherry Blossom, so I might, not succeed here. And, this one I might switch to focused. I'm already close to the time goal, so I don't have to worry about that too much. You lose a lot of time warps if you get hit. So try not to get hit. And see, we got the goal. And so now this is the bonus spell, and you'll notice there's an X over the bombs and lives counter on the right, which means we can't use them. No bombs, you just have to beat the spell or not beat it. And if you fail, you don't lose a life, you just don't get the spell card bonus. And we got it, so that's good. Off with all these bugs around. Let's see. Funny thing for you to say, yeah. So you can read their banter here, it's always pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna read through it out loud or anything, but yeah, they're going on there. Oh, one more important thing. In this game, bombs work very differently in that if you get hit, you have a very wide window to death bomb. But the downside is it costs 2 bombs to do that. And I'll just pause the video to split this into 2 and pick up on stage 2 in a minute.